Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Tony Sanchez coming to you once again from LA, California. I'm on the road, as always, as you can see, with the spooky night vision. Excuse me, I gotta make a left hand turn here. Going to an old style, the OG way of of prospecting. Yes, I still do that, and it's quite fulfilling to help out people achieve their dreams the old-fashioned way at the same time. Although it does get to be a little bit hectic and a little bit of a pain in the behind, because it is work, and it's a lot of work just to have them shoot you down, and you have to pretty much check yourself and what your not only abilities are, but your goals in life and your dreams. Believe me, it doesn't take that long for somebody to shoot your dreams down, especially your family, friends, and close people. And you have to keep yourself pretty much conditioned, Hold on, let me move this camera over a bit. I gotta hold it a certain way and make sure that it doesn't fall over. Yeah. So, what I'm gonna share with you today is about thinking as if it was day number one. I know it's hard because it's like having an old relationship and starting over. I know a lot of you have been there and done that. It's very hard to do unless you're very forgiving or very religious, or just plainly, well, like most of us were, pretty ignorant, I guess. But let's think of the positive side. Let's not think of the negative aspects of thinking as every day as your first in any business or anything that you're doing. Let me lower this radio. What I mean by thinking as if it was your first day, do you remember you getting that gut feeling of you having your own business and actually dreaming bigger than you ever thought? And it was probably a long time, maybe since you were a kid when you wanted that first game board, or that first Barbie, or that first G.I. Joe. Well, I know a lot of you youngsters out there probably saying, G.I. Joe, what is that? Yes, there are a lot of great young entrepreneurs out there. And how do I know? Well, I've been talking to a lot of them lately. So, think like if it was your first day. How do you do that? Well, you have to keep on writing down your goals and reminding yourself as if it were day one on what goals you are trying to achieve. By writing your goals, and I know you probably have heard this time and time again from different mentors, from different books, from different resources that you have looked up, and that's pretty much a basic rule. You write things down, and because you write them down, your percentages are higher of you achieving your goals. Why? Well, it's easy. It's easier to ignore when you don't see that goal in front of you from day to day. What I do, and believe me, I am as inexperienced as I am because of failure. I can tell you that much. You're going to ask, well, how can you be? I'm not going to say I am a success, because I am not at the point in my life where I can consider myself a success. But what I mean a success, I am talking about my short-term goals and what I have accomplished up to now. It has been incredible only because I have written down certain goals that I needed to achieve, and little by little, sometimes I would push them up a few months, a few weeks. It doesn't really matter. The whole thing is that you get those things done and you remind yourself of those things, and you have to think of them as day one. Not day 2, not day 3, not day 4, not a year, whatever. Because then you lose sight of that goal. That's why you have to keep on writing it down and reassessing exactly on where you're at and making those small little changes. Now, I'm not saying make giant leaps, because honestly, it's a lot of people don't like getting out of the comfort zone. I sure don't. I mean, I am the biggest procrastinator, trust me. But it's because I do those small little tiny things that are important every day. Maybe I'll spend an hour or 2 on doing my thing. But because I do those small little tiny things every day, periodically, they do add up at the end of the year, at the end of the week, at the end of the day, depending on how many hours you're actually putting into whatever that you're doing. So, I got this guy looking at me in the car next to me, and luckily I have this earpiece here, so it doesn't look like I'm talking to myself. Anyhow, so you think it's the first day, and you get to thinking that it's your first day doing what you're doing. It refreshes your memory on why you're doing what you're doing. I mean, you ever look at those people who are at the same job, at the same way of thinking? Not necessarily, honestly, I've seen people who hate their jobs, but because they are doing something they don't really like, but they see that light at the end of the tunnel, they do it, and they do it well. Trust me. I mean, it's... And I don't get it sometimes, but... I'm sorry, I didn't get it then. I do now. But at that time, when I would see all these people pretty happy on their jobs, and I'm thinking, but you're miserable here. How can you be happy? He says, well, I got something to look forward to. I got my vacation coming up, and I've been saving up money, all this overtime. You've heard those stories. Everybody's looking for their vacation time. Nothing wrong with that. But what about their future? They were looking at their